Do you want to lose weight but struggle to stay committed to a meal plan because you constantly feel hungry? Does food provide you with comfort when you are bored, angry, lonely, or sad? If so, you are in the right place. My name is Kristen Jones, and I'm a life coach specializing in emotional eating and weight loss, and I'm also a lifelong emotional eater. I want to provide you with information, motivation, and support so you too can learn to manage your issues with food and develop a healthy relationship with yourself. Welcome to the Breakthrough Emotional Eating Podcast.
Welcome to the Breakthrough Emotional Eating Podcast number 2. Today's topic is going to be eating the foods that you love and losing weight. My name is Kristen Jones, and I am so happy that you have joined the podcast. And if you're on Facebook Live and you're a member of my group, so happy that you're here. If you are not a member of the Breakthrough Emotional Eating community, you definitely want to be a part of things. So go to Facebook, www.facebook.com/groups/food breakthrough. And please join the group filled with an amazing array of incredibly supportive women and men who are there for each other while addressing the issues of emotional eating and losing weight. And again, one of the most loving and supporting communities in Facebook. So please, if you are listening to this podcast and you're not a member, come on over. I'm going to put the link in the show notes. So I would love to see you in the group. Before we get started on the topic today and discuss our topic today, I want to give a couple of shout outs to a few members in the group. So first, I want to give a shout out to Pam. Pam is a member of the Mind, Body, and Emotion Weight Loss System. And she is the perfect example when sometimes the scale doesn't move as much as we want it to, but there are changes happening. Pam has lost 6 3/4 inches. Y'all, all over 6 3/4 inches. And the scales moved a little bit, not as much as I think she would like it to, but the difference in the way her clothes are fitting and the way she feels is amazing. So remember, we never just take one measurement. We don't settle for that number on the scale, because remember, it's just statistics. It's just data. We don't want to have that mean anything super significant. We always have other ways of measuring things. So Pam, I'm super proud of you. You are doing so much amazing work with your exercise and with how you feel, and that is making the difference. So again, super proud of you. And secondly, I want to welcome 2 of our newest members to the Mind, Body, and Emotion group, and that is Beth and Debbie. And they have come in 150%, just going for it, jumping into the group and really embracing what they have decided to do to really take a look at their issues with emotional eating and really getting off of that diet roller coaster, that up and down, gaining and losing. So again, Debbie and Beth, I'm so excited for both of you, and I can't wait to see the journey. It's, be with you on that journey and see all the successes that you're going to have. So again, congratulations, welcome, super happy that you're with us. All right, let's get to today's topic. So I know when I say eat the foods you love and lose weight, many of you are like, what? What's she talking about? She's crazy. How is that even going to be possible? Well, there are 3 things that I want to address today. And the first one is I want to talk about ending and getting rid of the diet mentality. That is absolutely 100% the first thing we need to do. End that diet mentality. Second thing is, how do you figure out what foods are going to work for your body, what foods you can eat that are going to allow you to lose weight and that you're going to enjoy? And then the third thing is a brain hack, an affirmation that is going to, or a thought pattern that is going to make a huge difference in your ability to be able to have those foods around that you really truly love. So we're going to talk about all 3 of those things, and in addition, I'm going to give you one super secret, let's see, it's a strategy. It has 2 parts to it, and it is going to end you even having to think or worry about your weight. So you want to stick around to the end because you want to hear that one. That's a good one. So let's talk about that diet mentality. So we all know that feeling of it's Monday morning, I'm on a diet, and you take on this whole different persona because you've decided that you're going to restrict, you're going to deny, you're not going to eat anything you want to eat because you want to lose weight. And then when you get to the point where you've lost your weight or you've finished your 2-week cleanse or your 30-day jump start, all of a sudden it's right back to the habits and the eating that you did before you were quote unquote on a diet. So we need to get rid of that. We need to think of how can we eat healthfully for ourselves every moment of every single day. And that can include foods that you love. That can include family favorites. It can include comfort foods. We just have to learn how we can eat them. But that is possible. And it's the only sustainable way that you're going to lose weight and you're going to lose it and keep it off. So about 5 years ago, I did a 30-day cleanse. And I stuck to it. I was so dedicated. I did everything I was supposed to do. But the whole time, all I could think about was the big, fat, juicy hamburger that I wanted to have. I don't even eat meat, but the big hamburger that I wanted to eat after this thing was over. And it ended. And actually, I didn't eat that big hamburger, but I did go back to my old ways of eating. And eventually, when I tried to do the cleanse again, I couldn't do it. I would follow it for 2 days. And what I realized was I could be told what to eat and I would eat it, but I would always want something else. I would want to keep eating even though I was full, but I was not satisfied because I was eating food I really didn't like and eating foods that I really didn't want. It was for a sustained period of time and that was it. And when it was over, I wanted to go back to the way I ate before because I didn't realize why I was eating the way I was eating before and what the deeper meaning was of that. So that is really, really important to really think about your health and about your eating as something you're going to do in a sustained way, not on and off, not good days or bad days, good food, bad food, just food, and just food that's going to nourish yourself, your body, and nourish your soul. And that's what we need to remember. The second thing that we want to talk about is the idea of how do you, if you're going to eat foods that you enjoy and eat foods that you love, which might be a little bit more, calorically dense than what would be considered traditional diet foods, but we're putting that mentality away. We're not dealing with that. How do you know how much food to eat, and how do you know what serves your body? Well, we have to learn to tap into our bodies and really slow down enough to feel what our bodies feel like after we eat something. And does it really serve you? Does it really make you feel good? Do you have more energy? So we have to think about that. We also can't rely on what somebody else eats. Most common question I get asked all the time is, well, what do you eat? How much do you eat? How often do you eat? It doesn't matter what I eat. What I eat is totally irrelevant because my body's different than the person next to me, different from the person across from me, different from anybody. And it's taken me a long time to figure out what's going to work for me. And the same thing goes for each of you. You have to figure out what it is. And I know that that's one of the things, that's probably the most challenging thing that I do with my clients is figuring out how and why, how do we eat in a way that serves your body and allows you to continue to lose weight and feel good and have energy, but also to keep that weight going and the weight loss going and to mentally and emotionally feel satisfied. And so that's something that you have to work through and you have to figure out. And again, it's just listening to your body. So I don't know if y'all remember that South Beach diet. I don't know. I mean, South Beach is still around, but it has lots of different names now. Now there's a South Beach diet, there's Atkins, there's just low carb. Now they just simplified it and called it low carb. But the South Beach was no high protein. I just remember there was bacon on it. You could eat cheese. And I was like, well, I'm all over that. That's my kind of diet. And so I decided, I tried every single diet there ever was. And so I remember trying that diet. And one Saturday, I had been on it for a week, and one of my friends called, let's go to a movie. Okay, great. And I was so excited because I was going to try on my jeans that I hadn't worn for a little bit of time. And I was thinking, oh, I'm going to put these on and they're going to slide on and it's going to be awesome. And y'all, I could not even buckle the pants. I could not even get the button to close because that diet wasn't meant for me. That I am not a person who can eat a lot of protein, and certainly not a lot of animal protein. And so I realized like that is not, you can't ask what somebody else is eating. You have to figure out what's best for your body. But you need to include foods that you enjoy and foods that make you feel good and foods that you like. Because if you're being told what to eat and it is not something that's going to satisfy you, you are going to be full, but you won't be satisfied and you will keep eating. And that's not what we want. Um, and the last thing that we have to look at when we're talking about this is this: we have to start to really realize that our brain has a huge amount of impact on our ability to make choices and make good choices for ourselves. And you all know that the primal brain is that instant gratification, the one that's used most of the time, that we give into most of the time. But the thing is, we don't have to give into it. Our prefrontal cortex is perfectly happy sticking to the plan of we're going to eat healthy for long term. But you have to really allow that to happen and to be in control and say, no, we're not going to go for that instant gratification. And so one of the brain hacks that we have to do is we have to reprogram our brain to understand that food and food as we know it is not going anywhere. It's not leaving us. It's not going to disappear. So for all my nighttime eaters out, and if you're watching this on Facebook Live and you are a nighttime eater, would you please drop in the comments, just write nighttime eater. If you're a nighttime eater, you understand this. We have to move away from feeling like food is going to disappear and food is going to be taken away from us and we're going to be denied and we're going to be restricted. We get a lot of those beliefs from our childhood and from things that happen to us as we're growing up. But as adults, we don't have to believe that anymore. So I know for me, there was a span of time where there was not a night that I did not eat from the time I got home from school to the time I went to bed. I ate constantly. And by the time I would go to bed, I would feel so sick and so full. And I would feel that way in the morning too. And I would always say, okay, well, by the time I reached the point where I was so full and I realized I had totally blown it for the day, at that point it was like, well, I might as well just eat. I might as well eat the rest of whatever's in the house because tomorrow is going to be a new day and tomorrow is going to be a better day. Tomorrow was never a better day. It was until I got home again, and then the same pattern happened over and over again. So the idea for me of having foods that I love, like macaroni and cheese and potato chips and chocolate chip cookies and ice cream in the house, unfathomable. Like, could not even imagine having those things in the house and not eating them all in one sitting. And what really turned it around for me was realizing that I had to tell myself that food wasn't going anywhere. So I want to get this right. I want to make sure that y'all hear this affirmation that I would say. I would say it and I would write it because I totally believe in the power of writing and the power of imprinting information into your brain. So this is the affirmation that I would use, and I would very strongly encourage anyone who's a nighttime eater or anyone who has that once you start eating, you can't stop until it's gone. This is for you. So please take note of this. I need you to tell yourself, write down and do this affirmation twice a day. Food is always available to me. I can have it anytime I want. It is not going anywhere, and I am worthy. Okay? Again, food is always available to me. I can have it anytime I want. It is not going anywhere, and I am worthy. That is what you need to be imprinting in your brain, because it's that fear that it's going to go away, that it's never coming back, and this could be the last time. And yes, it makes you feel good. But there's a real strong component of being left out, of being restricted or denied, that we have to get over. We cannot keep living like we did when we were kids. So we have to take on a new belief. And the new belief is food's always there. I don't have to eat all of it tonight. I don't have to eat all of it tomorrow. It can stay in my house for days and days. So that's what I wish for you, and that's what I want you to do. That's my suggestion, and the affirmation that has really changed things for me. Now, I promised you a little secret at the end, and the secret is we need to do two things, just two things. We need to be like babies. One, in order to lose weight and not even lose weight, just find our perfect weight, is one, we need to eat when we are truly hungry, and only when we're truly hungry. And we need to stop. Second thing, we need to stop when we're full. And that means we need to learn to recognize what that feeling of fullness feels like. And that is something I work with my clients on all the time, is how do we know when we feel full and when it's time to stop, and what real true hunger feels like. And once we recognize that and we do that, that's the magic right there. That's what you need. That's all you need. And so that is something that's really, really important. And if that's something that you're really interested in, then definitely, if you're listening to the podcast, you want to come on into the Breakthrough Emotional Eating group. If you're a part of the group, you definitely want to be watching those posts, paying attention. Again, drop me a DM if that's something you're feeling like, God, yeah, I need to figure out how to do that. Because that is, for so many years of my life, that was a mystery, absolute mystery. And now that it's something that I can do and recognize, total game changer. So thank you so much if you are live, for joining me live in the Facebook group. And if you're listening to this as a podcast, again, thank you so much for tuning in and being here and being a part of the podcast community as well. And I'd love to have you a part of the Breakthrough Emotional Eating community. So again, jump on over into Facebook and please join our group. And for anyone who's watching this live in the Facebook group, I would really like you to drop in the comments a yes or a no. That's all. Yes or no. Do you really believe that you can eat the foods that you love after what I've told you today? Do you really believe that you could eat the foods that you love and still lose weight? So think about that and just drop me a yes or a no. Do you think that's possible? I know it's possible, and I really want to make sure that you all believe that it absolutely is possible, and it's sustainable, and it's something that will take you through to the rest of your days. So again, thank you so very much for coming and being a part of this community and this podcast. And I will see you all next week. Have a fabulous, fabulous weekend. And it is the 4th of July weekend. And so I hope everyone is safe. Be safe, be healthy, and I will see you next week.